Hello and welcome back to the channel Behind the Bar. As always, I'm your host, Timmy Tayo. And today we're going to review the first game of Man United's 25-26 EPL season, the English Premier League, a home match at Old Trafford against Arsenal that ended in defeat, 1-0. And despite the defeat, as the thumbnail says, there's quite a lot of optimism in defeat, despite this defeat. And I think overall, Man United I don't think it's a stretch to say we're by far the better team in this game. When you look at the number of chances created, the number of shots on goals, and just the team that looked in command. Now, of course, it all ended in defeat. And so it sort of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth when, as a team, you go out there, you have a good showing, you create chances, then you give away a really sloppy goal and you end up losing the game. But I think when you look beyond the defeat and you analyze the performance, I think as a Man United fan, you're going to be very optimistic. You're going to be very positive because what we saw was really a complete performance, right? Despite the goalkeeper error, I think the defense was outstanding. De Ligt deserves a special mention today. I mean, he had Gyökeres in his pocket, right? I think that's probably where you'll find him till this moment. Just kept him quiet, didn't give him a sniff, didn't give him any air to breathe. He smothered him. Physically, he out-dueled him, just made him irrelevant in the game up until he went off in the 60th minute. Now, of course, Gyökeres is still getting fit, I think. He's only played a couple preseason games. I think he's still going to be a really good player for Arsenal. But today, De Ligt and the entire defense, to be fair, I think Lenny Euro had a wonderful game. Luke Shaw looked as good as he's ever looked today. And I think that's really good for the team when you have players playing to their potential. I think it creates the competition that you need to bring the best out of yourself and out of your teammates. And I think Bruno said it well during the summer series when he said that, the team needed more quality players to challenge the existing players that we've had, to raise the level. And I think that's what we're seeing when you can have Luke Shaw start today and play really well, with Heaven on the bench, with Lisandro Martinez going to be back soon. And I think that's a great squad depth, and that level, if they can keep that up, will push each other. And so defensively, we were sound. Like I said, we didn't give Arsenal any chances today outside of the one set piece. So I don't think we ever looked like we were going to concede a goal from open play. And then even in the midfield where we need an extra body, right? I think today Amarim's tactics were spot on. A lot of our creativity came on the flanks, which, as we know, is a huge part of this Amarim 3-4-3 system, is the wing play that the wing backs bring in. And so overall, a good game despite the loss. And let's break down the 5 takeaways, as always, that we've picked out from the game. So number one, I think, is the elephant in the room, the goalkeeper situation. And for me, I think Ruben Amorim today sent a clear message to the board, to the hierarchy, to Ineos, right? That, look, my number one, I don't trust him. Because he could have played Onana today, right? I think Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken, I think Alisson didn't really play in preseason and came right into the team. I think any other number one goalkeeper, if you're fit, like Amorim said he was today, then he's starting. And the fact that he wasn't even in the squad, for me, says a lot, right? When your number one goalkeeper is shaky, your backup goalkeeper is shaky, and I think a lot of fans today wanted to see Tom Heaton in goal. And I don't think anyone would have been upset with that. And I think therein lies a problem, right? When your number 3 goalkeeper, a 35, 36-year-old Tom Heaton, is the fans' preferred choice, then I think it's clear that we have a problem. And so I'm not going to be long-winded with this point. Very simply put, we have to do something in the transfer window before the transfer market closes with the goalkeeper situation, because we cannot go into this season with that position under scrutiny. Such an important position. And we need a goalkeeper that can command their box and bail the team out instead of hurting the team, right? I mean, moving on, we've got the negative out of the way. The build-up play for me today was one of the huge positives that I came away after watching this loss, right? I think the way that we were able to work the ball from defense, we didn't do a lot of long balls today, right? We didn't have a focal point. We didn't really play with a recognized striker. It was more of a fluid attack with Mason Mount, Cunha, and Mbuemo, with Mason Mount really the trigger point for the press, playing more central, really had the license to roam today. I thought Mason Mount had a great game. And but the way that we built up play from defense and then down to the wings, where we saw Dorgu have a good game, very influential, and in Mbuemo, Delo, we'll get to in a second. But I think when Ahmad came on, he really helped us stretch the field. He got past Madueke a few times, created some chances, but it just wasn't our day. But I was very encouraged with the possession, with how we were able to create the 1v1 situations for the 210s and the wingbacks. I think is a blueprint for how this team can control games and create chances moving forward. And that leads right into my third point, which is the fact that Benjamin Šeško is going to cook, eat, do the dishes, and clean up in this system. I think this 3-4-3 system is tailor-made for a striker. The common theme that I noticed, especially in the first half, is when we work the ball well into those positions, whether in the half spaces or down the flanks, there was no one in the box, right? Literally no one to get any crosses to, no one for the wing backs to aim at to get a cross in. And I think that is the reason why a 6'5" striker in the box, when we work the ball well into the sides and into the half spaces and the wings, is going to have a chance to capitalize. It was quite evident that this system just needs a striker, right? And so you get excited by that prospect, seeing how we played today and the number of chances. But I need to see Šeško. Looking forward to see him starting against Burnley next week, and just seeing the difference that once we get that build-up play, work the ball into the final third, having a target man in there who's basically taller than everyone else, the chance for him to get chances off. And so I think that prospect is really exciting, having watched the game today. Four, I think, listen, I love Diogo Dalot, right? He's a great squad player, right? He can play as a right wing back, play as a left wing back. He can play as a right center back. So he's a great utility player, but he's a squad player, right? Moving forward, Ahmad needs to start. There's just no two ways around it. Ahmad needs to be the starter. He fits that position so well, adds that extra attacker in the final third when we do work the ball well. And I think with Mbuemo and Ahmad and Šeško on that right-hand side and in the middle, I think can cause real havoc for teams. Now, I understand that against Arsenal, maybe Ruben Amorim wanted to play it safe, go with that defensive back five. But today, the way that we control the game, I think if you have Ahmad on in that first half, maybe the team is able to create just a little bit more. But moving forward, he owns that spot. He owns that spot, point blank. And finally, I think the outlook is very positive, right? I think you add a striker to the system, Xerxes coming back into the team, Mazraoui coming back into the team. From what I saw today, this team is only a couple players away from challenging for a top four position, right? We're talking about a goalkeeper and another physical body in the midfield. And this team is ready to go up against the big boys. I mean, today proved that, beyond any shadow of a doubt. That was my main takeaway. This team is good enough to compete at the top of the table. Maybe not challenge just yet. Like I said, we're still a few pieces away from having a team that's able to carry out the Amorim's instructions and play to the strengths of the 3-4-3 system. But it looks good. It looks good. And I'm looking forward to this next game against Burnley with Šeško in the center to be able to capitalize on the good build-up play, especially in the half spaces, and on the flanks with the wing backs and the 210s. And so, yeah, bright season ahead for sure. Anyway, that's it for me for today. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.